Hello there, welcome back to the new lecture. So in this lecture we are going to discuss about vapor compression refrigeration cycle. So after the end of this lecture you would be able to understand what is refrigeration cycle. Then we have to discuss the working of vapor compression refrigeration cycle. Then we have to see the advantages and disadvantages of VCR cycle and the application of vapor compression refrigeration cycle. So let's start. So what is refrigeration cycle? So see, it is written, the refrigeration cycle is a thermodynamic cycle that is used to remove heat from a specific area you want to cool. Okay, so this is the main purpose of this refrigeration cycle. So the refrigeration cycle is also known as a heat pump cycle. This cycle is designed for refrigeration system, air conditioning system and heat pumps. So now here generally we have two types of refrigeration cycle. Okay, first we have a vapor compression refrigeration cycle and second vapor absorption refrigeration cycle. So in this tutorial we have to see about the vapor compression refrigeration cycle. Okay, so see here, what is vapor compression refrigeration cycle? So remember here, this vapor compression refrigeration cycle is the most widely used refrigeration system. So in this system, the working fluid is a vapor. It readily evaporates and condenses or changes alternatively between the vapor and liquid phase without leaving the refrigerating plant. Okay. So see, it is written here, maximum heat pumps, cooling systems, air conditioning system and refrigeration use the vapor compression cycle. The vapor compression cycle uses two heat exchanger. What are they? One is a condenser with high temperatures and emits heat at high temperatures. Okay. So the condenser or cooler consists of coil of pipe in which the high pressure and temperature vapor refrigerant are cooled and condensed. You can see in this figure here the condenser is shown, condenser coil. Okay. Next is the other heat exchanger is an evaporator that absorbs heat at low temperature. Okay. It also consists of coil. You can see here evaporator coil is shown. It also consists of a coil of pipe in which liquid vapor refrigerant at low pressure and temperature is evaporated and converted into vapor refrigerant at low pressure and temperature. So this is all about the vapor compression refrigeration cycle. Now we have to see the working of this vapor compression refrigeration cycle. So here you can see the complete image of this vapor compression cycle is given. So there are four main components of this vapor compression cycle: compressor, condenser, evaporator and expansion valve. So what happened here? As the vapor compression cycle is start working, the vapor refrigerant having low temperature and low pressure is introduced into the compressor. Okay, from here you can see the suction line is shown here. So the compressor increases the pressure and temperature and convert the vapor refrigerant into the high pressure and high temperature superheated gas. Okay, so this high temperature superheated gas then flow into the condenser. The condenser releases the heat of the gas into the atmosphere, condenses it and transform it into a liquid refrigerant. So after the condensation process, the liquid refrigerant enters the expansion valve. So this expansion valve quickly lowers the pressure, which will cause a sudden drop in the temperature of the liquid refrigerant. Okay, so a cold mixture of liquid and low pressure vapor then passes via the evaporator. The evaporator fully evaporates the mixture to absorb the heat from the environment and then turns it to the compressor as a low temperature and low pressure gas to recycle. Okay, so this is the complete working of vapor compression refrigeration cycle. Now here you can see some advantages is given for vapor compression cycle. So there are many advantages. In that, first is volume of refrigerant circulate is low, hence the running cost is low. Okay. Next, it is written high coefficient of performance. So we know that the temperature at the evaporator section can be controlled employing regulation of expansion valve. So it exhibit high coefficient of performance. Okay. Now the next advantage is it can be used for both heating and cooling. Okay. So these are the advantage. Now here you can see some disadvantage is also given for vapor compression cycle. First, high initial cost. Okay, because whatever refrigerant we are using here, it is a costly, so that is why the initial cost is high, and the environmental hazardous refrigerant involved in this vapor compression refrigeration cycle. Okay, so generally R134A tetrafluoroethane we are using as a refrigerant, so is an inert gas used primarily as a high temperature refrigerant for domestic refrigeration and automobile air conditioner. Okay, so contact of this R134A with flames or hot surface have toxic and hazardous effect on the human and environment. Okay, so that is why here the disadvantage is written environmental hazardous refrigerant involved in this vapor compression refrigeration cycle. Now the next one is must ensure the prevention of leakage of refrigerant. Okay, so these are the disadvantage. Now here you can see the application of vapor compression cycle where we can use. So it is used in domestic refrigeration for keeping the food. Okay, and it is helpful in food processing and cold storages. Then it is useful in industrial refrigeration for chemical processing, heating and cooling. Okay, and it is useful in cryogenic refrigeration, medical refrigeration, transport refrigeration and electronics cooling, etc. So this is all about vapor compression refrigeration cycle. I hope all of you enjoy the session. See you in next one.